Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about 3 communication tricks that you can use to make people like you. This is a way to make your conversations more interesting, more exciting, and unforgettable. And if you're someone that struggles with small talk, social anxiety, maybe you're a little bit introverted, these tips will help a lot. So let's get straight into it. Number 1 is to stop asking external questions and to ask internal ones. So stop asking stuff that is cold. Stop asking about, what someone does for work, or talk about external stuff like the weather or what's going on in the world. Instead, let's say you're at a networking event or at a wedding or a party, ask people personal questions. It doesn't have to be extremely personal, but stuff like, how did you end up here? How many siblings do you have? Where did you grow up? Even a simple question like, where did you grow up? Tells you so much more about someone's story. And people love talking about themselves. When someone is asking you stuff like, what do you do for work? Or just like external cold questions, you might be wondering, are they trying to network with me or are they really trying to get to know me? So instead, ask personal questions. Really be curious about that person and try to get to know them and their story, because people feel that and they like it when you're curious about them. And remember that a lot of times when you're in a group of people, some people might seem cold or distant, but most of the times that person isn't actually cold or distant. Most people are very afraid of networking, of getting to know new people. Most of us are, and we're just good at hiding it. Sometimes, other times we turn cold, and that's kind of like a protection mechanism. So don't let these appearances change your mind about someone. When you actually ask these personal questions and really try to get to know them and you're curious about them, they will start opening up slowly. Which brings me to number 2, which is a mistake a lot of people make. A lot of people put on all these masks of indifference, of coldness, sometimes even arrogance, because they're scared to show others who they truly are. They try to pretend they're someone else. They're either hyper energetic or hyper friendly, which they wouldn't normally be in a more private setting where they feel comfortable. And they think they should do certain things, they should be in a certain way, they should act in a certain way to make other people like them. And people that are most liked and the best communicators and the people you actually make connections with are people that are not scared to show who they truly are. People that are not scared to be authentic, with the good and the bad. Because imperfection is relatable. We don't like perfect people because we know it's an act. And perfection isn't relatable because no one is perfect. We all have anxieties and insecurities. And, when someone is just themselves and is comfortable with themselves, it's a breath of fresh air because you get to see the real person beyond all those masks. And we can sense the masks. People can sense the mask you're wearing, whether, you're being overly polite or friendly or cold or distant or whatever. All of these are protections that don't allow people to see the real you. And trust me, the most attractive thing is having the confidence to show your authentic self, and people will like it. And tip number 3, this is especially important for people pleasers. Don't do too much. Take a step back. Let people come halfway. Walk 50% of the way, but let the other person come halfway. Because what people pleasers do in general, or, people that are trying to be liked, they will walk all the way. They will ask all the questions. They will be the only one like coming to that person, interacting with the person, giving too much energy. And it's really important that you are able to take a step back, and let the person come to you as well. Because first of all, any relationship can only be formed if both people, walk halfway of the road and you meet in the middle. Otherwise, it's a one-sided relationship and it just doesn't work. And when you take a step back and let people come to you as well, it shows confidence. It shows that you are comfortable with yourself, that you know your value, that you know you're a nice person, a nice friend, someone that's interesting, and you don't have to do all the work. When you do too much, you show and transmit insecurity. You transmit the fact that you have to compensate for what you are not. So, as a recap for the 3 communication tricks that you can use to decrease your social anxiety, to be a better communicator and have more interesting conversations, is 1. Start asking internal questions instead of external questions. So don't ask stuff like, what do you do for work, or politics, or what's going on in the world. Instead, try to get someone's story. Be curious about other people. People love it when they feel like someone else is truly interested in their story and what they have to say and in them as a person, because you don't get it very often. The second tip is to take off the masks and be courageous enough to show who you truly are, and don't try to pretend to be someone that you're not. And 3, just walk half of the way. Don't do too much. Don't overcompensate. You have nothing to overcompensate for. You are good enough. People will like you for who you are, and you will become more attractive if you allow yourself to just be authentic. And people will be super, super attracted to you, because authenticity and vulnerability are the most attractive things, because people can relate to them and it's real. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. Leave any comments down below if you have any suggestions for the next videos, and lots of love.